And hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Nowhere Videos Meat and Potatoes, the program that shows you easy recipes for great food. My name is Todd Hilton. Behind the camera when I'm cooking is Mr. Mark Johnson. And in this edition, I'm going to introduce you to something a little different. Something that you're not going to find on most menus, but tonight you're going to find it on ours. What I'm making is actually going to be a garlic pizza burger. Okay, what exactly is that? Well, first of all, I got to tell you, it's not exactly what you may think. I'm not someone who typically likes pizza. I know I'm weird that way. I'm not partial to the red sauce. The ones that I like are like say Papa Murphy's garlic chicken pizza. I like the white sauce. I like the garlic sauce. So what I'm doing is a variation on that, but I'm going to make it into a burger. Burger. Okay. Had to get that out of the way. So that's what it's going to be, a garlic pizza burger. And I've got a vast array of ingredients here in front of me, and we're actually behind me. And I'm going to throw this thing together, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay. Now I have way more ground beef than I'm ever going to need for this recipe. This recipe actually only makes like 2 burgers. But you'll see why when we get into this, because these are actually going to be pretty good sized burgers. The recipe actually calls for ½ a pound of ground beef. So I am going to guesstimate here. And if it's a little over, oh well. That's what happens when you cook. Okay. Now, in order to get this going, you're going to want a small mixing bowl, which I just happen to have here. And pardon my extra ingredients here. Here we go. Make it a little easier. Okay, we're going to combine our ground beef. Okay. And also I have here, if you can find this stuff is great for cooking. It's a large jar of minced garlic. You could do, like, if you want to mince your own garlic, you can do that, but it's, something rather time consuming, and if you have a garlic press and all that stuff. But if you can find these jars, these things work great, because then you can just get out the amount that you need, in which case it's going to be ½ a teaspoon. Woo, that's strong. That is strong stuff. But that's probably why we're only going to need just ½ a teaspoon here. Yeah, that's a little more. Yeah, that is garlic. Okay, that's good for that. Okay, next, actually gonna add some. If I can find it here. We're going to add another ½ a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. This is kind of where you start getting into your pizza flavoring here. And I'm going to take ½ a teaspoon of that. And this, I'm not going to, since it's wet with garlic here, I'm not going to stick that back in there, but I'm going to do this as close as I can. Okay. Again, ½ a teaspoon. Okay, that's Italian seasoning. A lot of these ingredients are relatively inexpensive. And next, going to add some salt. Again, going to be, actually this one is going to be a ¼ teaspoon of salt. ¼ teaspoon. Thank you, Mark. ¼ teaspoon salt. Make sure you use salt, not sugar. That would taste awfully funny. Not like I've ever done that, but okay. Doesn't look like much, but again, these are going to be your meat patties. And this is only the beginning of the dish here. So, by hand, I'm going to go ahead and just mix this together. Reminds me of the meatballs and clouds that I did a while back. Not quite as many ingredients, though. This is going to be a lot different from meatballs and clouds, I guarantee it. Now, this recipe only makes 2 large burgers. So now, if you plan on making this, keep that in mind. This is only 2 burgers worth. And what we're actually going to make, believe it or not, we're going to make 4 patties out of this, because each burger uses 2 patties. Okay, we have our large meatball, which we are going to make into 4 beef patties. And I'm going to approximate this. Now I've made a lot of beef dishes over the last few years, but honestly, I can't say that I have ever made hamburgers, which is probably the most basic beef dish there is. There's 2. Yeah, I think my guesstimate was not too bad. Now that I've got the meat patties formed and ready to go on to the next step, got our Krabby Patties here, and not ready to cook those quite yet. So we are going to take some mozzarella. Okay. Going to take that. That is going to go onto our burgers. Actually, you might be kind of surprised what I do with this here. It's going to be a little bit different from your average burger. Burger. We're going to take some slices of this. So I can see why they make string cheese out of this stuff. It's kind of a weird, mozzarella is kind of a weird cheese. It's almost a crumbly type of cheese there. It's going to take, just get some thin slices there, enough that that will melt. Melt in your burger, not in your hand. Well, this stuff is hard to cut without it falling apart there. Okay, that's probably enough there. So what we're going to do is going to take our meat patties here, and what I'm actually going to do is we're going to stack these. I'm going to take one, put cheese on it, take another one just the opposite side, stack that on top of it. And then I'm going to press this together, at least the best I can here. The cheese sticks out the side, that's just fine, because we like cheese. And that's probably going to be about as much cheese as I can possibly stuff in there without it just making a huge mess. So we're going to go with that, and we're going to get this going. Let these cook up. I'm going to put these on a mid-range here, probably about a 5. And again, we're going to want to be able to flip those and get that cheese melted and get the meat cooked. I recommend that you cook these like 6 to 8 minutes per side. Make sure that the meat gets cooked all the way through. That there is a burger. Actually, it's the start of a burger. We're going to throw in some bacon. Not the whole thing, we're just going to use a little bit of it. Because that is one ingredient that I really like about the the garlic chicken is you add crispy bacon, and that's, I tell you what, that is the stuff. And we don't need a whole lot. I'm going to throw in, oh, I'm thinking maybe, oh, I can't imagine you need any more than like 4 slices. Just enough that you can crumple up and make into crispy bacon. Again, we're going to turn that back up. Actually, probably 5 is probably good. So, one thing about bacon is, you put these big strips in here, and then by the time they're done, to the point where they're going to be crispy, that you can crumple them, they're pretty much burnt to a crisp. So, that means they're ready. So, yeah, I think 4 slices is probably enough. Again, if you're making more than just the 2 burgers, then obviously you're going to need more bacon. This is an experiment, as I said earlier. We're going to see how this turns out. I think it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be a twist on the regular recipe, the one that I found, in addition to being just different, period. I mean, this is not something you usually find on most restaurant menus. So we'll see how it turns out. We're going to get this bacon cooking here. We're going to need our handy dandy little weenie grabbers, as I call them. And again, the same thing with bacon that applies to the ground beef. Got to cut down on that grease. So I always put down some paper towel on the plate before I take the bacon out. Kind of soaks up some of that excess grease. All right. Flip the bacon over here. Ugh. Yes, I didn't rinse the pan out after the beef, but you know what? I didn't see the need to. Besides, the more grease, the better, right? Now we're gonna take care of most of that grease when we pull this bacon out. Let it sit on the paper towel for a minute or so, and then hopefully we'll be able to crumple this up and use it as a topping for our burger. One of the toppings. There's a whole other topping that we're going to put on there. It's going to be, I guess you could call it the secret sauce. That's going to be interesting. That's going to give it a very unique flavor. Okay. Let that bacon incinerate there in the pan for a couple more minutes there. And it should be about ready. All right, we have bacon. We have baconage, or bakage, or whatever. Almost incinerated to a crisp. Actually, this will be just right, because we'll be able to get our crumpled bacon out of this rather nicely. We're ready for what we could call the pizza sauce. This is going to be my variation of the sauce. I'm going to take a mixing bowl here. Actually, don't need one very big, but this one is already out, so this is what I'm going to use. Clear out our, you know what, let's pull this out. I'm working here. Okay, since we've only got the 2 burgers, we don't need very much of the sauce, so I'm just going to make very little of it. What I got here is buttermilk. Buttermilk is one of those things that you typically, I mean, you're not just going to crack it open and drink it. That's kind of, because it's very, well, except unless you're Mark Johnson, which, grew up on a farm, but that's different. But it's very sweet. Most people are not going to crack it open and drink it. I guess it's one of those things you got to have an acquired taste for. However, it works great for making ranch dressing and garlic pizza sauce. So I'm going to measure out, this is just going to be 1/4 cup. So this stuff is interesting. It's got it's thicker than regular milk. That is weird stuff. It already looks like ranch, and all it is buttermilk. I'm going to take that, and that. And we're going to add the same amount of mayonnaise into this. This one might be a little more complicated here to get this out. Okay. Actually, let's just do this. Save time and save utensils. It's about as close as we can get here. Again, this is a 1/4 of a cup I'm using, which is going to be just enough to make our sauce. So this is 1/4 cup of buttermilk, 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. Now, what I have here, this is a big packet of Hidden Valley Ranch. This is the good stuff, folks. If you're going to make ranch dressing or this sauce here, again, don't skimp. Get the good stuff. Now, this one here, this packet actually makes an entire gallon of ranch dressing. We don't need near that much, so I'm just going to open a corner of this. And this is something that you actually need to kind of need to do it to taste. However strong you like your ranch dressing. I like mine really tangy, you know, the kind that you get at some of the better restaurants. And this is what they use. They use the buttermilk ranch, and it has a real rich flavor to it. It's really tangy. And it's kind of green. Huh. I don't think I ever saw real ranch powder. Okay, that's just enough there. And I'm going to stir this up. Now this is just the base. Basically what you have when you're mixing this is you have ranch dressing right here. Aside from working out the lumps in there, probably best thing, especially if you're going to make a whole lot of this, is a wire whisk. Is the best thing to use. But since we're only using it as a sauce, I'm just going to do this by hand with a spoon. Try to get out as many of the lumps as I can here. This is going to be more than enough to. This is going to be more than enough to put on top of our burgers. So, I'm going to play with your food here.
And lose your spoon.
And lose my spoon in the process. Oh boy, that's good. I tell you what, folks, that is the stuff. I don't know if I need any more or not. That's, I'm going to try some, Varg. Yeah, that's good stuff, folks.
I would put just a little more.
Just a little more? Okay. And again, you don't want to put a whole lot in here, because this packet makes a gallon. So, since I've lost my spoon, I'm just going to sprinkle just a little bit in there. But yeah, again, don't skimp. I don't even think you'd want to get a house brand or anything like that. Get Hidden Valley, or there's a few name brands. Big name brands that you could probably go with, but I like Hidden Valley, and I think that's probably the brand that most restaurants use, and they make it in bulk. As Mark informed me, I mean, there's places that they make this stuff gallons at a time, but I love ranch. I love putting it on all kinds of dishes. You know, you can put it on hamburgers, hot dogs, dip your French fries in it. Put it on your cereal, that kind of thing. But you know, that kind of goes hand in hand with the whole Rotel thing. You know, you just put it on anything, oatmeal. You know, put it in your soup. Forget I said that, but you know what? You gotta have fun while you're cooking. Definitely keep a sense of humor. All right, especially on this show, because it takes forever. But you don't have to witness that. Okay, so now what we have is ranch dressing. Now, in order to take it one step farther and actually make it into our sauce that we need for our burgers, we need to add a little bit of the minced garlic. Once again, and again, not very much. You just want to use just a little bit. Okay. I'm using 1/4 teaspoon of minced garlic. So that goes in. Whew! You know, that's one thing about the minced garlic in a jar like this. I mean, you can literally have this for years and never use it all.
And this will also keep the vampires away.
This will, yeah. This will also keep the vampires away from, well, unless they're, okay. Now, again, this was very, very little of the 2 ingredients which actually give this flavor, which is the garlic and the ranch dressing. Very little, but in the end, gives you a lot of flavor. And again, you're probably going to want to do this to taste. It's actually to the point where you can see the garlic in the mix there, along with the ranch dressing. Yeah, this is something you got to experiment with, just to meet your own, to please your own taste buds there. So we're going to drop the spoon into the mix again. I lose more spoons that way. Okay. Mmm. That's good. You know, I think that's going to do. I like that. I like that very much. Okay. So that is going to go on top of our burgers. Okay. Second to last step. We have two of the, I guess you'd say, large hamburger buns here. And we're going to go ahead and toast these, and that's the only way to go if you're going to have a good burger. Okay. Got the handy little toaster oven there. Okay, we're ready for our main presentation here. Get this out again. Hot buns coming through. Whew. Okay, do this the best I can here. I think I might have to take these off by hand and plop them onto the burgers here. Yeah, that is the one problem with these, of course, is they shrink. You get that whole shrinkage thing. Okay, put that aside there. And next, let's take our garlic ranch and just take some spoonfuls of that. Actually, I don't think you could have too much of this stuff on there unless it's, you know, just totally running off the plate. We'll spoon that on there. Starting to look like a Eggs Benedict or something. Okay, call that good there. And last but not least, we're gonna get some crumpled bacon. Now you see bacon. I feel like Superman crushing coal to get a diamond here. Okay, now we have, well, bacon bits. Sprinkle those on here. See, I like to eat these just by themselves too. That's always good. Yeah, see, as it turns out, I probably could have gotten away with just 2 pieces of bacon here. Use this one here. That way you can feed the rest of the bacon to your cat. Okay. And finally, our toasted buns. Okay, that way you can kind of see what it looks like there. And there you have it, folks. Garlic pizza burgers. that's our recipe for garlic pizza burgers. Hope you enjoyed that one there. As I said, that was kind of an experiment, something I found and thought, I think I'll make that to kind of conform to my taste, and we'll see what happens. And hopefully it tastes as good as it looks. That's always the exciting part, to see how well you did when it turns out. And with that, that's going to do it for this episode of Nowhere Videos Meat and Potatoes. I want to thank everyone out there for watching. For Mark Johnson behind the camera, I'm Todd Hilton saying, good taters, good meat, good grief, let's eat. We'll see you next time.